Thank you once for the nice presentation, and yeah, it was so good to hear you on the stage. Before I start, you know the topic, it's on Gen AI, and I just wanted to start with one thing. What's going in with Gen AI? Why it's becoming so popular now, or what has changed? So in one or two words, if you can answer this, yeah, raise your hand, and I'll be interested to know, like, where are we on Gen AI understanding? Like overall, what's changed in the Gen AI? AI existed since long, but what has changed now? So which has become so revolutionary, and everyone is talking about Gen AI. Anyone? Yeah. Yeah. So Gen AI is generative AI, and AI is AI. So I'll do a pulse check. How many have you used the LLMs or Chat GPTs? Everyone, right? So what's was difference than the AI and these Gen AI tools actually, which existed? Yeah. Yeah, that needs prompt, but what it is doing, which is different than the AI. Exactly. So that's the power, right? So Gen AI, yeah, perfect. Yeah, I think that's all the basic skeleton from where we started. So that's about AI machine learning where we started, and that says training, learning, and recommending basically. That's basically remained to be a next action. But now what's changed in Gen AI? Because Gen AI can actually generate the content in a human language answers, it can generate the image and it can generate the video. So that's the power of Gen AI, and that's why we are all here. It's good to know that everyone is aware about the Chat GPT and everything which is going around the Gen AI space. So with that, I'll start with the session and kick off this session. So why I'm here? Because I love talking about Gen AI, and I started this revolutionary, which happened 1.5 years back when ChatGPT comes. And in this process, when I start speaking, all the time I learn new things. So I enjoy being part of these conversations. It's more like when I talk to you, I learn something, and I learn from you as well. So that's why I'm here, and I'm gonna give you maybe a heavy download, which might be, I don't know, but I'll try to keep it slightly light so that we remain on the topic. And 15 minutes, guys, believe me, it's too short time to cover this whole AI topic. So, yeah, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna keep it more relevant to front-end developers and how Gen AI gonna shift over the years, and I mean what we should be prepared about. So before that, I'm Manjeet and I work with Vista, and I'm principal engineer. And I started this on Gen AI journey 1.5 or 2 years back, and we developed framework which is business enabler using Gen AI orchestration platforms. So what we do, we use the LLM models and we written our own framework and layer, which actually is driven through the business problem, and then it solves the real world problems basically. So I'm not going to talk about the internals of what we have done, but basically it's proud to say that whatever we have done in 1.5 or 2 years, we were able to achieve the business goal using Gen AI and LLMs. So with that, I'm going to move to the next slide. Yeah, you can move to the next slide. So yeah, I think we have already talked about AI and Gen AI and LLMs. So initially, when we have seen in Flipkart, it's AI was already there, and you can see when you search something, you see the similar products, and which is like recommendations basically. So it's like a pattern detection and telling you what is your next action and what is you can do next. So that already existed in AI world. Then after that, the revolution in last decade happened around the deep learning and neural networks. So neural network is a capability where actually you think like humans only. So basically, it's like human only, which has a neural network, and basically using the recommendation capabilities, it gives you answer in a content format, and it talks like a human only. So that's why the revolution of LLM happens, which is called as a large language model. So Gen AI is a subset of AI. Is that clear? I mean, so AI is predominantly exist earlier as well, but Gen AI is a subset and it's a revolution which has started, and everyone want to now tap into the capabilities of Gen AI. So you might have seen LLM giving as an interface like a chat GPT, you can conversationally interact with them. But how many of you know that they give the API as well to talk to them? Right. So what do you think, what is the power of having it as an API basically?
I don't want. So like if I don't want to give my data to ChatGPT, or I don't want to use the ChatGPT platform, I want to use it in my internal organization with specific rules. Like I am in a school, I don't want to access outside data, but I want to use these papers only. If someone asks for outside any question from studies, don't answer. Then I can use the API with my prompting, with my set of rules.
Yeah.
So that's one of the great reason to use OpenAI APIs.
Yeah, right. And that's, I'm going to come later on like data exposing and what's the problem with LLMs. But the power lies between it is available as a API. So you can call the LLMs, get it back. If you tell him in English, I need this, he's going to answer back. But what he knows is important. Right now, he knows only the general available content which is fed into its neural networks. And that's where the problem is, because it's not a problem, but it's like a something to solve us as an engineer, because LLMs knows what they are trained on. So they are trained on the general data which is already available, but that data is not valuable for your businesses, or might not be valuable for your businesses, right? I mean, if I have to use GenAI to say hi, hello, thank you, it does not do anything for me. They have to know my businesses and they have to answer according to my businesses. This is my art. So that's where. So first step is to know this capability is available as an API. We can use it and we can feed into our system. That's where the whole competition started, and we all see while playing with ChatGPT, right? You say it's something and it's going to answer into a very formatted and structured way, the way you answer him actually to give you back. Now, one thing I'm going to tell you more. With this, basically, how many of you think training is important or instruction is important? Yeah. Sorry? Perfect. But which one is more relevant for us, instruction or training? For businesses?
It's more over instructions.
Exactly.
Right
Why?
instructions.
Why?
Right set of instructions, because the more the specific the prompt is, and the exactly what you know what you ask for, that's the result you are gonna get. Otherwise, what's gonna happen is that based on the all the global learning which the particular LM has done, let's say if you're using an open API, it will give you much more results than expected, and then you may get confused. It will give you more information than you want, probably.
Perfect. But only one point here and one catch. Like LLMs are trained on the wider data. Why not you train your business-specific data to LLM? I'll say no.
Then it's exposure of your business to that particular.
No, but yeah, that's another problem. But yeah, I mean, so basically, if you do investment in training? Sorry, if you do investment in training, it's like you are solving a use case which takes a long time for you to train it. But if you're instructing it, you have a liberty to change it over the time, because your instruction changes, right? Right now, your business says, my refund policy is 10%. I don't want to feed into my models, right? I will change it whenever I need it. It's like UI when you want to change it. Yeah, I think that's where everything started. Basically, we want to capitalize on the LLM powers and basically instruct it rather than train it. And there is a race between everyone in the businesses, basically how we can be ahead of the competitive so that we can start leveraging LLMs, giving our internal data in a safe way, which is another challenge with the LLMs. But that I'm going to talk very precisely. So, I mean, it's a heavy download, as I said. I'm going to cover what I can do in given time. So, okay. And one more thing. How many of you think that AI is going to, Gen AI is going to replace the developers? But might be the developers who don't know Gen AI. You, right? So yeah, I mean it was not a reality 2 years back. It's gonna be it's already reality, right? And you're gonna see business actually using, and every developer has to train on the GenAI. It's like a backend model. Earlier API was your backend models. Now LLMs are your backend models. Okay, with that I'm gonna move to the next slide. GenAI and front-end developers. So from my perspective, I might be wrong. Everyone is learning in this journey. So my perspective is the front-end is becoming the face of intelligence, because as a front-end developer, we don't care about what is in the backend. Smarter models is of useless if it is not built in a good UI, you know. So if you don't see it as a good presentation layer, even if you use the higher models, I mean, it is of no use. But we have to think about earlier, we started the journey from static UIs to interactive UIs. And now it's journey of intelligence-backed interactive UIs. What does that mean? Intelligence-backed interactive UIs means from your backend, you know what is to skip or what is to talk about, right? So if you're talking to a customer and the customer has given you already some information, why will you ask of him again on the text box, oh, give me, or pre-populate it? Your backend model understand, oh, he has given this information, skip it, and let's do a conversational. So that's an intelligence UI which is gonna shape the future. It's not that easy. It makes easy, but it's not that easy, because you have to understand how does the backend works in between. You'll see lot of streaming concept, lot of API driven concept, and how does it power basically your front end. It's basically the same way right now we understand about the APIs, which is either written in the GraphQL or either written in any of the language, but you know how does it works, right? Things will remain similar, but you'll see more conversational and streaming kind of a backend, which is feeding into your interfaces, and which is basically what it is, your gateway to your AI experience. AI experience is a different experience which everyone is learning to every day. There is a no definite yes or no answer of what is the best experience of designing AI experience. The most common AI experience you see talking to the bots, right? And that's where the business solving the problem, because they are designing their bots. Either the front facing or the customer facing, or using the utility of those bots into business backend processes which can enable it and actually automate it and solve it. So automation is another power, bot is another power of GenAI. Guys, am I making sense? Okay, perfect. Okay, we can move to the next slide. So what developers should know, it's basically what's basically LLM is actually. It's basically, yeah, in LLM word or in AI word, what all? LLM concepts, prompts, right? Prompts is like instructions. It's an English literal meaning, prompts is instructions. The other word is tokens and context windows. Tokens is like when you talk to the LLMs, you give him something. So that is actually calculated as a token. What is a context window? Context window, when you talk to the LLM, whatever you give to him is a brain, local brain of it, basically a RAM memory. You able to follow me? Like when you're calling a LLM API call, you give some context to it. Let's assume there is some context. Maybe I'm telling just simply, my name is Manjeet. So this is my context. So this is my context window, basically. So overall, whatever information it has access, you giving him extra information that is going with your prompts and your basically, yeah, that is going with your prompts and as a context, in a context window. Every model has a limitation on their context window, which is evolving. Like GPT-4o Mini has a 128K words limit. Libraries. So now the problem is what? They have given you APIs. Someone has to work on to actually talk to these APIs, and these APIs need to be written in a structure where that you can talk to it, which is called as a AI application engineering platforms. So you might have heard a lot of frameworks like LangChain or Llama Index. Anyone has any, yeah. So basically, if not, it's a good topic. You should read about what are AI application engineering platforms. LangChain is very popular platform, and Llama Index is another very popular platform. OpenAI, which is ChatGPT backed, which has its own SDK to talk to their APIs. Okay, so can you move to the next slide? So basically, now I'm going to move to this slide, which is AI application engineering, and it talks about the platform foundations, basically, and that's where I'm going to try to give you some download around it. That this is LLM who has a source of information backed by general knowledge, and this is your platform foundation, basically. And I try to put a lot of in English layer only. So basically. Initially your request comes, then to talk to LLM, you need a framework, and that framework should have these capabilities: input, security, and PIA layer. Why? Because anyone can give you anything, right? So you have to be you have to be very serious about making sure any of your prompts coming through the user input is secure. So which is called as a prompt injection layer or input security layer. So input security layer is if you have any PII information, this is where we have to deal with it and basically mask it or don't pass it to the LLM. So that's the first step in the orchestration journey. So you'll heard a lot of word in this whole AI application engineering. One will be orchestration, which is a different than we used to talk about engineering and orchestration. So first it used to be development, now it's orchestration. Second is hallucination. So yeah, I mean, you might already know hallucination, like if I know something, if I think I know everything and I start answering it, that's hallucination. Like it's like a overconfident person, and it's like a student. It's not like as your math teacher, but like a student who thinks he knows everything and he actually answers with the confidence. Oh, I know it, but the data is not backed up by anything, basically. That's called hallucination, is another problem. This is the layer where prompts and instructions. So whenever your request come, you prompt it, you say, okay, if you need this information, just answer this one. Don't answer anything, means don't answer about my competitors. Don't tell him that you can buy this thing from there. So that's your instructions, right? You tell them, don't talk to me like this, basically in an empathetic way, not like, oh, don't talk to me like this. So that's where all the instructions come, like how you want to tell your LLM to behave. Then the second problem is context augmentation. Context augmentation is basically now to answer the queries, you need a context. So you need to augment it. And in augmentation process, you might heard the term called RAG, RAG. How many know about the RAG? Quite a few. So RAG is a retrieval augmentation generation. Basically, there's a lot of content given, and you create a database out of it. That database is searchable semantically. Why it is important in this word? Because if you do a semantic search, it's a faster in nature. Like apple as a word is a fruit, apple is a company, is an electronic company. If someone is search about where I want to have an apple, eat or buy what? So he gives the context, and then you basically, it's like semantic search. So context augmentation, three major part is to have a RAG retrieval, which is semantic searching your every of the information, which could be your frequently asked questions. It goes there and get the data out of it. Like, okay, this could be the relevant answer from my company perspective. And then some of your API backed data. Oh, where is my order? So you go to the order API, get the data. Then other thing could be like your product information. You go to your products and get the data either through GraphQL or whatever it is. So it's a heavy engineering than heavy data scientist. The thing started with the data scientist, but it's heavy engineering because a lot of problems lies around the orchestration, and orchestration belongs to the engineering, basically. The last one is autonomous agents. You might heard lot of about the smart agents. Agents are something which is powered by AI, which can actually take decision by its own, understand the data, break the query, and answer back to the user. So that's where all AI application engineering is happening. They want to have autonomous agents, which basically understand the query, know the context, and then reason itself. They have its own reasoning loop. Till the time they are not confident, they don't you answer back. Either they will come back you to the question, or they will not answer back. Are you able to follow me? All good or no? Can you, yes or no? Perfect, okay. Okay, so last layer is the output security layer, which I have not depicted in because I also use prompts to generate this all slide. By the way, this is all generated by my English written prompt. I was playing with LLMs, and it does not even give me the output security layer. But there should be output security layer, basically. So what does that mean? Before returning back, you have to make sure that your content is not toxic, it's relevant as well, and it is not giving your any of the PII information. What does that mean? If I told you, right, this is my credit card information,